Well, guys, this is a video response to Jaythestingray. This is a little late. I just caught the very important video he did, and I want to just come right out and tell you what first turned me off of horror. Actually, it's a little bit different. When I was a kid, like I grew up in a pretty religious home. I wasn't allowed to watch, scary movies, demonic movies, blah blah blah, anything that had to do with anything not other than pretty much Christian stuff. And so I didn't get exposed to a lot of the stuff. I wasn't allowed to. And I believe it was my third when I was in third grade. No, fourth grade. Excuse me, it was fourth grade. A friend of mine, I go and stay at a friend of mine's house whose parents were much more relaxed than mine, much less strict, and who kind of let him do whatever he wanted. To a certain degree. I mean, watch stuff that he, whatever kind of movies it was, they weren't afraid to expose him to that kind of stuff. Anyway, so he gets me to watch Stephen King's It. He's like, oh, don't worry, it's about a clown, it's not scary, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Scared the living shit out of me. I was afraid to death of clowns for the next 2 years. I didn't want anything to do with it. My first exposure to a fucking horror film. I didn't know what to expect. He's, Pennywise is fucking turned into a fucking werewolf and shit. I don't even remember everything about it, to be honest with you. I mean, that movie scared the dickens out of me. I couldn't believe it. I can't explain it. I slept in my parents' room for 2 weeks after that. I was just deathly afraid of everything at that point. So, and it wasn't until I started hanging out with Boss Metal, 4 years ago, that we became really good friends. So we started hanging out all the time and shit. And that's when I started my love for horror movies. And that kicked off with one of the best horror movies, slasher films of all time, Friday the 13th. So there's the one movie that almost turned me away from horror for the rest of my life, and then I was brought back with Friday the 13th. So Stephen King's It, and honestly, I caught part of it on TV, one day, and I realized, shit, this isn't that scary. It was good for what it was, but I mean, it didn't have the element that I always thought it had to it. Of course, when you're, a fourth grader, it's a lot different than when you're older and more mature and, have more of a grasp on reality than you do when you're a kid, because your imagination just runs fucking wild when you're a child. So, I mean, it doesn't, you're left up to a lot more imagination when you're a kid, so. But anyway, those are my movies, Friday the 13th, and then, and Stephen King's It. And the funny thing about Friday the 13th, I'm sitting there watching it for the first time, and I'm what was it, 25 years old, or was this 3 years ago? No, 25, 26 years old, whatever it was. Anyway, I don't even know how old I am anymore. But anyway, so I'm watching it, and I'm in so much suspense, this movie's in the theaters, and this it's just totally a new thing, and I'm just like, well, who's the killer? Because it's not Jason, if it's Jason, why? Or I'm sitting here thinking, well, I don't know, I can't remember exactly everything that I was thinking at the time, but it was so exciting and exhilarating, and what a movie, and the twists and everything like that, and you're just, oh my God, look at that. It was such an experience for me being, in my 20s and experiencing this movie for the first time, which most of everybody had already, experienced it 20 times over. So, I don't know, it's cool, and I'm glad that I'm into the movies now. I'm glad that I didn't turn myself away from, having experiences like that for the rest of my life. So, overall it was good. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that, and awesome video, Jay. Too bad I caught it a month late, but Things happen. Peace.